Hello, good people. The lighting is questionable. I like that I have warm light. I absolutely do. It's just, I'm used to having a desk lamp whose brightness I can adjust. So this is just like a naked lamp. Like it's not even it's not fixed properly. Like it's literally someone literally I know this job. This is client needs to move in, and they've said, I don't care how much work you need to get done. I just need to have a functioning room to come to. So it looks nice there in the reflection, but it's literally a hanging wire, like if you look. So, and I'm going to get into so much trouble for saying that because I am criticizing someone's efforts, and I have been getting into a lot of trouble lately for criticizing effort and speaking my mind. Um, I tell people this. It's why I'm single. So I don't have a husband. I can't keep one. I'm too. I'm too critical. Because ironically and moronically, I just dropped something that I'd left on the heater. And I don't want it to sit on the floor, even though my floors are clean, because it's my undies. So, ironically, my female friends can take feedback. So I had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday who, in a moment of weakness, wanted to make some bad decisions. And I was like, maybe don't text this person because it's Friday night blues. We all have Friday night blues. All of us who've been in long-term relationships and are newly broken up, especially when the weather is like this. And Dr. Raquel Martin has actually said that there's a direct link between temperature dropping and poor decisions. So any woman who's just heard that line knows exactly what I'm saying. So this is what I'm saying. You can tell the weather has changed. First of all, I'm in something long sleeved. You've seen this outfit before. It's a long sleeved pink thingy. I don't know what I'd call it. It's not a jumper really. It's thin fabric, but it's something I'd wear out for a walk on a summer day. Not a terribly hot day, but like if we were looking at 22 degrees, yeah, I could go out for a walk in this. I used to go out for a walk in this and my black sneakers. I can't believe I spent 129 euros on those shoes and then they wore out so quickly. The ones I got for like 30 euros from home, and I only got them for 30 euros because I was promoting my cousin's business. But the ones I got for 30 euros from home have lasted through a cleaning job and will last me, I'm sure, beyond a year. And this is why I buy things secondhand and from Kenya, because I don't know where we get our secondhand, but wherever we get it from, it lasts and lasts. So we are 3 minutes in, and I have some thoughts. And my thoughts are on actions and consequences. I'm treading very softly on this because I know someone who's going to watch this and not be very happy with me. And I would like to sit here and say, oh, I don't give a damn, I don't care, but I do. I do care for people's feelings, strangely, even when those people act in ways that are with malice aforethought, maliciously or whatnot. So I have been having discussions with my female friends and female clients and people I support with my coaching practice. P.S. I am looking for new clients. I'm finally ready because I'm settled and I have a desk and I have a chair. I'm hoping to get an ergonomic. Well, do I want to get an ergonomic chair? Like, what I want to get is a chair with really good lumbar support and a height adjustable desk. I love this hair. Like, I was so annoyed with myself when I trimmed it. I still am because I miss the volume. It had so much more volume. So imagine this length with more volume. I do miss it. Um, But it's okay. Two stories can be true. You can love the new hair and also miss the old hair. Trust me, I do not miss sitting for 8 hours to get my hair done, because the last person who did it in 2 hours thinned my hair so badly that I had to do this. I had to like join. Um, Let me show you one that's okay. All of them are joined, but like you'll notice that the root is thicker, and then this is thin at some point, and then yeah, it's the normal thickness sort of. But either way, this hair feels like an experiment. It's waste protein. It will grow back. And considering how my hair is growing like weeds, like this is hair just I redid, I think in August. Was it in August that I was moving out of the other house? August I had a job. September I didn't have a job. Yeah, probably August. Look, I already have growth. I mean, it's not much, but people, my hair never used to grow. My hair used to be at the same length for like years, as far as I can remember. And of course, a lot of that was because of the blow drying and all that stuff. This is me procrastinating. This is me trying to not have the conversation I was supposed to be having with you guys. So, what I'm going to do is to comfort myself and make it easier to talk about something very difficult. I'm going to tell you stories about my hair, and then now, I'm going to finally get to the topic. But actions have consequences. I was listening to Dr. Raquel Martin because I love her so much. Not today, yesterday. The days have sort of seeped into each other. And she was talking about how she sent her child to school without food. Before you, gentle parents, come after her or me, just calm down for a second. Actions have consequences, and that's something our kids need to know to prepare them, to give them grit and resilience. I got that phrase, grit. I mean, grit is an English word, right? But I got that particular phrasing around resilience building in childhood and grit development in childhood or amongst children from a TED talk. Unfortunately, I do not remember the TED star. I do not remember who gave the presentation, but I'm sure if you type in TED talk, resilience building in children, you will find something. I am willing to bet. If you don't, write in the comment section. I will just share it with you. I will now put it upon myself to do it. I'm a teacher. I don't like to do assignments for people. And no, you're not children, but you are here on my platform. So welcome. um, Actions have consequences. So Dr. Raquel Martin talks about how she'd been telling her child, you need to eat your breakfast. He did not eat his breakfast. He kept playing with it. She removed the toys to remove the distraction so he would eat his breakfast. She indicated to him, if you don't eat your breakfast, we have to leave at a certain time. And when that time comes, we're going to leave whether or not you've eaten your breakfast. She removed the distractions. She reminded him to eat his breakfast. She put the breakfast in front of him. Already she had done this, right? Child did not eat breakfast. Then suddenly, when it's I don't know how many minutes to time, he's eating his breakfast finally. He's just been playing with the food and whatnot. And he's like, oh, but I'm not done. And she's like, but we are leaving for school. I had already previously indicated if you do not finish eating your breakfast before we go to school, it's done. You're going to school without having eaten breakfast. And I agree with her. I agree with her because I have found myself in those situations lately where my kids do something incredibly stupid because they're human. And I have done incredibly stupid things. And I tell my kids because not all of them, but the grown ones, the ones in their 20s. So I tell them when I have made mistakes with men. I tell them when I have made horrible dating decisions, like dating perpetually for 11 years and thinking, I don't want to commit. Actually, I don't think that was a mistake. I was in love, I was happy. It's just that last year should have left sooner. So, because I could tell something was off, and I later was able to articulate that we were just better off long distance, one, and two, we had changed way too much to be a good fit for each other. Again, not that I'm a bad person, not that he's a bad person, it's just we just don't fit. I know he will make someone incredibly happy one day because my ex is an actually decent person. Actions having consequences. Side note, if there's a time since this breakup that I have missed my ex, it is this weekend. I do not want to say his name, but this man could organize. This man he got me a house in Germany months before I even got my acceptance letter because he was so confident I was going to come. And he hadn't yet finished his own course. He'd not completed his course. And yet he was so happy about me getting my master's, even though he was finishing up with his degree, that he was just working to make it happen. That is love. Love is when someone else is going to accomplish the thing you would have liked to accomplish, but it's not your time, and you celebrate them anyway. Love is also love is just action. Me, by the way, love is not, oh, I love, just never, I'm not saying never say it to me. My girlfriends tell me they love me all the time. I believe them because they have already previously shown it through their actions and continue to show it consistently. Clearly, you can see where I'm headed with this. This usually has to do with men, where the actions and the words don't match each other. So I really missed my ex because I was moving into a new house and the organization of how this was going to happen did not happen the way I had hoped. I am a planner. I'm not saying I never ran late. I ran late, and that's why some of the stuff that happened. However, I had been asking for like the key to this place. I had been asking for. I'm still asking as we speak for the landlord's account details. I am this close to going to my meet Bevona housemate to go like, yo, what are the details? So that I can just pay this rent. Why? Because money has uses and I have dependents back home. I'm paying black tax. I don't want to wake up and this is German banking. So I don't want to wake up on Monday and find that they've deducted from my shopping trip on Friday and like thankfully I'm not buying anything else on Amazon because first of all I don't have the money to do that anymore because all the stuff I needed to buy like the at least the bare basic essentials I don't have my cooking pots with me here, but thankfully it's a furnished house, so I don't need. I like my cooking pots, I miss them, but it's fine, I don't need them. I have 3 iron skillets. Most of the food that I bought is stuff that needs to be baked. There are no baking tins. I am just weeping inwardly. There are no baking tins, but there's the rack in the oven, and my housemate has been kind enough to give me the cling foil. He's like, use whatever you need to use, no wahala. Another reason why I like living with black people. I was like, yeah, on Monday when I go for shopping properly, when I've not starved myself so much that I am shaking with hunger, I will actually go get all the stuff that we have in common, like the kitchen towels, which I use like there's no tomorrow. I am literally my mother's daughter. So I'm going to stock up on kitchen towels. I'm going to stock up on toilet paper, and I'm going to stock up on cleaning agents because I've noticed that's the stuff like I like to use because I like to clean even when I'm like stressed or just taking breaks from whatever I'm doing. And right now, whatever I'm doing has to do mostly with like applications. So there's an application that came in. My friend and I got an email from the same institution, and so they feel like it's not challenging enough for them to pursue. I am a broke student. If they're offering a scholarship, I will do a second master's because I have no money. And the thing that hit me was I was listening to my friend talk about her plans to travel home, and then she was like, oh yeah, I've booked my ticket to go home. And I was like, oh god, one day even me, I will be able to say I have booked my ticket to go home because I did book a ticket in July. But the consequence of missing my flight, getting paid roughly as much as I spent on that ticket, and still having debts. Like, and when I say debts, I mean I have health insurance to pay out of pocket now because I registered for the new thingy. I have, like, it's just, I was put in a mess by the person who was attempting to help me, but also trying to use shortcuts. Let me put it that way. Actions have consequences. This person who screwed me over, I have blocked. I've restricted access of some people to my social media because some of them, when they see that I have spent money on something, they do not realize I spent money on this thing 2 weeks ago and I was moving to a new house, or 3 weeks, actually 3+ weeks ago, and I was moving to, and I paid for those things through work. Like I worked And then I told this person, instead of paying me, use your Amazon account to order these things for me, and then I'll come pick them from your basement storage. It's called a Keller in German. I'll come pick my stuff from your Keller, and within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And they were like, yeah, the thing is empty. I didn't even know I had one until so and so told me. So that's how I've been getting things. So when people see me unboxing like pillows or they see a furnished room, they assume that I have all this money to spend. I am a broke student. I am almost out of my student money. Um, so my bedding was delivered to me, but it was through a bit of cajoling. I tell people, especially my daughters, it is a terrible thing to live at the mercy of a man. That's the statement I've been running away from this whole while. So let me look at you in the face as I say it. It is a terrible thing, ladies, women, girls, to live at the mercy of a man. Whether that man is your father, your lover, or your husband, or your brother. And this is why. From my lived experience and the experiences of many women, many women, the world over. Let me pause and explain. When I say the world over, I mean women from East Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, North Africa, Europe, Australia, the UK, and America, North America and South America. Yep, that's representative of the entire world, right? Oh, and India, and Asia. Yes, it is a terrible thing to live at the mercy of a man. I know people from all around the world, so I can safely say I may not have a sample size of 10 people through different parts of Asia, but if I know 5 Asians from different countries in Asia who have said the same thing, truth holds, it is a terrible thing to find yourself living at the mercy of a man. Because this is what I know. I had a fallout with a friend recently, and I was supposed to send her some money at the end of the month. We had a fallout, and she still took 50 euros cash and put it in my pocket and said, I know you don't walk around with cash. You need cash just in case. She took ibuprofen, she put it in my bag. We had a fallout. At the time when she was doing this, we were so angry with each other. I was walking out to go for a walk and clear my head and take a bus to go back to my home. She did that. When I got paid, I was to pay her at the end of the month. In fact, I'd said, if I get the money when I get to the house, I will send it to you. She said, no pressure, like no wahala. I went home and I didn't have the money on me to send. Like if I sent the money, so I had sent money elsewhere to pay for something that needed to come urgently from Kenya. So when I got her message and she indicated that she did not mind, like she did not mind me, she preferred to have me send the money, and I asked for the bank details, etc. I didn't have them anymore. So when those details were sent, I was like, man, I just sent money. So if I send her money, it's going to mess my mathematics. It's going to mess my budget for the rest of the month. So, and I'm learning how to stop running out of money completely before the end of the month by, helping other people so much that I run out of money. So I had to bite down and tell myself, if my student money doesn't come on Monday, I will just send her the money. Fortunately, because God is good and kind, the money came in on the 28th. I think the 28th was a Monday. So I was able to send her the money, plus the extra I owed her for something she'd wanted to purchase but had changed her mind about. Makyu, we are still not talking because I'm not ready to talk to her about whatever I am upset about or I was upset about. However, I honored the fact that I needed to give her money. This is true for other people I know. I know I'm a firefighter. When some lady friend has an issue with her sister or her mom or whoever, I hear the same theme repeating itself. I'm really pissed off at my mom right now. So I'm only sending her money for her medication and upkeep and rent and whatever, but I'm not talking to her. I've had someone recently tell me, I'm really upset with person X, but I needed to send them certain items and I sent them through so and so that they'd get to them as we had previously agreed. Tell me why. When I deal with men and they're upset with me for not doing something they want me to do, they punish by withholding care. So they know you really, really want an item that's at their house that you need to get valued and sold, and they go quiet and they don't give you any indication of when you're going to get that thing. A very valuable item, which if it gets lost, you're in a proper financial mess. Considering the house is a place they have family and friends come over a lot. So it's risky. And I'm not here saying calling people's relatives thieves. I'm just saying, considering they have a little more foot traffic than you have at your house, and there are kids involved in everything. One, tell me why. This is something I've even heard daughters say about their fathers. I thank God that I was raised by a single mom. By the way, my mom and I have had our beef. And there's a time I was in uni and she thought I was incredibly rude by not responding to something she'd asked. And I was actually in a mood. I was like, why is she bothering me? I'm in the middle of something and she wants an answer now and I can't give her that answer right now. I'm like in the middle of something. And when I didn't respond, she said, if this is the attitude you want to go about with, then you figure things out. And that's the first time I experienced my mom withdrawing care because she was upset with me. And I panicked. And when I panicked, because my birthday was around the corner, I placed strategically requests to my aunt who was abroad and my closet uncle who was working in Nairobi. And I was like, oh yeah, for my birthday, I'd like this amount of money to be able to start cooking for myself, because ABCD. So I didn't ask my mother for money for 2 weeks, 3, I'm not sure, before she got in touch with like, wait, how are you surviving? That taught me that even someone who claims to love you can withdraw care to punish you. And that messed me up. That really, and I mean, that really messed me up, you guys. Because it was money for food. And she knew I was very organized and I usually bought like stuff that I needed, etc. But like, have you ever looked at 10 euros and you're thinking, this is all I have to my name until I get paid? And I might get paid in like 2 weeks. And 1 week's worth of shopping, even if you push it, is maybe 15 euros. And so you, and we did this with a friend of mine here in Germany at some point, where we used to sit down and put our monies together and go like, okay, so you buy eggs, I buy bread, or we buy eggs and bread and this and that, and then this is how, because we need carbohydrates and we need protein, and he's very well versed with the whole nutrition thing, very health conscious. So I was like, yeah, so this is carbs and then protein, and then I had multivitamins, and I was like, we're going to take multivitamins instead of fruit for now, and then but we're going to buy like some fruit just to last us for a long time. And at the time, apples were really cheap. So we bought like a bunch of apples, we bought a bunch of eggs, and we bought a bunch of bread. And we lived off of that for a while because there was oil and spices and whatever. So we could eat the eggs in different ways. And then once in a while, like if some money came in for whatever, we're like, oh yeah, we can buy peppers, we can buy tomatoes. We can eat noodles today or rice, but noodles don't fill you up. So they're that cheap, but they don't keep you full for long enough. So you'd rather do the bread and eggs and maybe add a vegetable so that it keeps you full for longer, because eggs are high protein. If you fry them in oil, it's high calories, so you're full for longer. Fat and protein take a long time to digest. Actions have consequences. So this is a consequence of the action of getting out of a financially secure situation with my ex because I chose happiness. And many people think happiness comes cheap. It really doesn't. It's like an investment. It's, at least for me, it's, I believe in delayed gratification and I was raised on it. So what I do is, if I really 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 want something, I put money aside for it, or I make huge sacrifices to get it. And trust me, you know what happens when I get the thing, whether it's my pillows, or it's, a duvet cover, or it's a laptop. Because I remember when I finally managed to pay for this guy in full, was this year. And because I have also learned part of the lesson in the whole living at the mercy of a man being terrible is, let me say it in Swahili, wanaume hujipanga na pesa zetu. Men plan around our money and even plan for themselves. So let me backtrack and say a little more before I get to the if. Let me say the if. If a man knows how much money you have coming in and going out, he's going to work around that. I'm saying this because I'm hearing more and more young women come to me and tell me, my boyfriend used to send me money for ABCD, and it seems right around the time we had a conversation around how much I make, that amount of money was cut out. Or my partner used to treat me a certain way, like, act like I couldn't do without him. In fact, that's the phrase she used. He used to behave like act like I couldn't do without him, but it's because he didn't know how much I was making. And then one day he overheard me give a quotation on a call, and he was like, "Isn't that a lot of money? Like, where are you even going to get that money?" And she responded, "Oh, I have a plan. I always have a plan." And he pried and asked and prodded and asked. So recently, a man I work with has asked me how long I can afford to pay rent in this new house. Considering this place, so it's a house in Berlin. Let's start there. So, oh God, just saying that makes me feel faint. Housing in Berlin is ridiculously expensive. If I were in Kleve or Leipzig, for the amount of money I'm paying for a room in a house I share with one other person, which is, it's a beautiful house, for this amount, I would have had a studio apartment. I would have. But Berlin has the job opportunities, and especially for English speakers. So everything is a trade off. And as I said, actions have consequences. So instead of paying 190 euros for a student room, or 350 for a room of my own, a student room also, or 500 for a studio apartment in Leipzig. All that was in Leipzig, all the amounts I mentioned, 190, 350, 500, or 500 in Kleve, 350 in a shared house in Kleve. I am paying 500 to share with one other person. Thank Jesus in heaven, in the sanctuary, that the person I'm living with, one, is black, two, is clean, three, is quiet. I'm so happy because y'all have been a part of this journey for over a year, and I have had housemate drama between streaky toilets and pee drops on the toilet seat, and a housemate who made sent me sexually inappropriate pictures to my WhatsApp when he got my number, I think from the group chat. And no, he got my number from Instagram after he saw me do yoga on Instagram, and he shared the thing with me and asked whether I could teach him yoga. I was like, I don't teach yoga, I'm not a yoga instructor, I just do yoga. He's like, oh, I'm a bit shy, I just wanted to learn and I could pay you. And I hate when white passing people throw money at black people. By the way, stop doing that. When I come to you and tell you, oh, I wanted to figure this out, I wanted to do thing A, B, C, D, give me a solution and the prices. Do not offer me money and do not offer to pay for me. I, as Sharon, find it incredibly insulting. Because the people I ask for money from are my female friends, not someone I met on Bumble, not someone I moved into a house with for a week whose face I didn't even know. I don't take money from men. I don't take money from men. Not all women are in need for their money. Okay? Okay? Yeah. Some are. For instance, if we are dating, please buy me anything I ask you for. But also understand there are things I never want a man to buy for me. There are things I actually want to buy for myself because I really like spending my own money. Actions have consequences. So I said this to someone. Whomst are men not to believe us when we tell them things. They're like, you're just. I was accused of being proud that my issue with asking for 10 euros for a taxi to get me home from the train station was pride. I was like, nah, fam. It's that I did not understand why I should spend 10 euros for a taxi and I needed that 10 euros to spend on something else because I know I will get to the house and find there's something missing. Did I get to the house and find something missing? Yes, I didn't even have a duvet. Imagine how angry I would have been at myself if I had taken a taxi to the house to find that the duvet I needed to buy for 20 euros was not even here. And you know why I didn't buy the duvet? Because the duvet I had already purchased for 20 euros was 42 minutes away. And because I know what it's like to live on such a tight budget, because that's been my existence for a long time, there was no way I was converting that amount in my head and saying, oh, I think I'm just going to take a taxi home. And this is why I don't take life advice from men, and I don't take life advice from people who come from money or people who've enjoyed a certain amount of financial privilege, like access to finances, for so long that they've forgotten the struggle. Me and this individual, who is a man, have had this fight before. Some of the fights have been invisible. So I remember the first time they invited me to something and they said, oh, you'll not spend anything. Just come, I'll cover your lunch and da 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 da. Me? No. I don't show up for events if I don't have the money to spend. This weekend, I was supposed to be meeting someone at a hotel. Why have I not met them? Because I moved into a new house yesterday. I've spent more money than I had planned to spend. And my budget is already a mess. My dependents back home are really struggling. I have been promised money by men, male client, potential male client, man I work for, man I am in a thing with, who we have a working relationship as well. So it's, he and I met a couple of months ago and we like each other. And I told him I like to keep money separate. I want to be with you because I like you. I don't want to be with you because I think there are certain financial favors I could get from you. If the financial favors come, it will come when we are exclusive, but I don't do exclusive anymore. So I want you to go date other people so that you're not a headache to me. And by the way, my type has always been workaholics. I am a workaholic myself. My ex even told me, please tell the next guy that your work is your priority. Very hurtful thing to hear from someone who took all your youth, literally from the age of 20 to 28, and then from the age of 34 to 36. But we are not counting, are we? Um, because this is the other thing why I say it's a nasty thing to live under the mercy of a man is men don't respect us and they don't like us. The cooking and cleaning you're doing, it's not work to him. It's not. He will no sooner pay someone else to do it because he doesn't want to do it. But you know what he'll say? I pay because I don't feel like doing it, but I can do it. But you will never catch him dead doing it. Every single disorganized man, and I meet them left, right, and center. Every man who doesn't clean up after himself, every man who's always had a woman to clean up after him, has the same story I have been hearing since I was 27, when I started drinking with some guys and I started to gather stories about men. They were so intriguing, these stories, that I cut my hair and dressed like a boy so I would appear like one of them. Like I would, so that my sexuality was so toned down that they just saw a boy when they looked at me. And the stories started to ooze out of them. Like, yeah, she's not anything. She's just there to cook for me because I hate cooking. I remember this one particular guy, and he's married, who was like, ugh, I'm really getting annoyed by the sound of tomatoes frying in oil. I need to find a wife. And then I remember someone calling his partner a donkey because, and I'm not laughing because I think it's a good thing for people to insult their romantic partners, sexual partners. I'm laughing because this has been me as well, where someone literally, like my ex literally told someone that all I did last summer was just sit in the house while he paid my rent at another house. I was, the word isn't furious, she was enraged because, girls, when I tell you the cooking I had done that summer just to impress him because I was in love, and the visiting his sister, and I don't like people. I'm an only child. Given a choice, I could live in this room for months without going outside. But I go outside because I have to buy food, and because fresh air is good, and because if I don't walk, I will lose the ability to walk. Left to my devices, I could sit at that desk and do my coaching calls and at this window and watch the sunrise and sunset and exhale, inhale, and do yoga on the mat that is, I did not mean to show you my undies, on this mat. And you see, even my laundry is inside the house. Left to my devices, I, as Sharon Ogugu, would not leave this room. I would actually just, if the kitchen were in this room, I would not leave. So imagine me in summer getting in a costume in a pool with children aged 5 and 3 and playing today, tomorrow, and then days later doing it again, or the week after. So even if we are saying I did it once every week, this visiting my sister-in-law and her children and the guests they had over, did I have fun? I did. But I'm an ambivert. My battery would be so depleted sometimes I would be in bed just not wanting to get up. And then a man comes and goes like, so you're not getting out of bed, Ati, why don't you wake up? I'm like, you are the 11th born. You have 10 siblings up ahead of you. Most of them have children. Some have 4, others have 3, others have 1, and then others have 2. Those are very many children. Oh, and another one has 2. And When I say there are things about my ex that I miss, it is to acknowledge that there were things about him that were good. He was very organized, he kept time, he communicated clearly. I am going to miss that for a very long time because the men who communicate like doorknobs are many. Whether they are 43, 31, 27, 28, or 39. There's one who's 40 and he's trying. It's just, it's the, when I say no the first time, I mean it. And yes, I could change my mind, but please stop pushing. And that's a conversation we're going to have because I'm not ready. I think I am more prepared to work on my thesis than I am to get back in the dating game. It's too much work. I signed up for something very casual, something to do every other weekend, not every single one. Someone to talk to on some nights, preferably not weeknights. I removed the TV from my room because I'm like, what is it for? I like watching stuff on my little Mac because me and this MacBook have been through my depressive episodes in Kenya when I couldn't leave bed and I was watching the Golden Girls, The Big Bang Theory. Me and this MacBook have been through my master's program together. Me and this MacBook, we've been through me living in Malindi, taking a sabbatical from life and in the city and Nairobi and just going to 5 minutes from the beach. Me and this MacBook moved to another new house for me to continue being depressed in that house, where even my landlady came to knock and go like, we don't hear you anymore. We used to hear you on the phone. We used to see you leaving the house. This MacBook has created my website. This MacBook is my friend. I hope one day to pass this MacBook on to my daughter so that I can buy another one. I don't know if I'll do Apple again because you can't even get Microsoft Word, but I digress. Oh, I can't get Microsoft Word because the ex is no longer paying for it because he had gotten an offer and I guess now that we are not together. This is me rolling my eyes because I'm like, I was done with someone and when they told me they were unwell, I went to visit them because they're a human being. And I still remember him looking at me and going like, oh, you consider me a friend? I was like, no, when my friends are sick, I show up for them. Like, you're a human being, whether or not anything, there's been a fallout. He's like, oh, you consider me a friend? I'm honored because he was not sure. I even considered him a human being because I am a bit emotionally distant with men just for my own safety and sanity because, yeah. So this is me declaring to the internet for 43 minutes. Ladies, make your own money. If you're black, buy your own land. Wherever you are, in the US or in Africa, buy your land far away from your ancestral home. Don't tell anyone. The only people you should be consulting about buying land are your female friends who are also buying land. Because the unfortunate thing is that sometimes you share this with someone who's not in that space and they get envious, so they get in your way. But sometimes you share it with the right person and they're the ones who tell you, oh, our merry-go-round is buying land in Mtwapa, let's go buy together. I bought land because of my guy friends and regretted it immensely. I wish I had bought land with my female friends. For that reason, I am sharing my 12 acres with my female friends. By sharing, I mean it's not safe for women to be alone. So I'm hoping to have a sustainable hut on my 4 acres and then another lady friend on her 4 acres, another. Yeah, I think 4 women will be harder to kill or than one. Because with the mouth I have on me and all the femicide happening in Kenya and men killing women stating for this reason, she disrespected me, you actually doused a woman in gasoline because she made you feel disrespected. See a therapist. Men, please go see therapists. You just stop bleeding all over us. Stop refusing to hear feedback that's difficult to receive. I stop kitchen sinking. I tell you about one thing, you decide to complain about 6 other things you've had a problem with me over. And then I also do the same because I am so frustrated with having to tell you things that I thought were obvious to a thinking, breathing human being, especially one who is over the age of 30. So please just go to therapy. In fact, this is going to be my new requirement. The only men I talk to are men who've gone for therapy actively and are actively working on themselves. If you've never been, just don't talk to me, don't look at me, don't say my name, don't give me money, don't hire me. I am not taking male clients anymore. I've had it up to here. Other than the ones who are clear on what it is that they want. If you get in touch with me and then you go like, oh, let me talk to you in 2 weeks. No. If you don't send me money, just don't talk to me within a week of having gotten in touch with me. I don't follow up on potential clients anymore. Is that a pride issue? I have no energy. I charge per hour of my time. And I used to hear people who said this and think, oh my gosh, that's not a bit forward. It is, and I do not apologize for it. I've worked very hard to be very good at what I do and to get here. I deserve to have my time and energy respected and protected. And so here we are. 47 minutes later. Good night. I'm going to watch a series. We Are Lady Parts is a beautiful series, especially considering all the stuff that's happening in the world. Jesus needs to come back and save us from men. Heaven will be full of women and children, especially women and children, because you're out here killing us with stress, anxiety. We are questioning ourselves. We're like, oh, was it me? It must be me, because it's the last guy and the guy after him. Protect your sanity. Just don't date for a while. You will sleep better. Ask me. Stay happy and healthy. Please tell Dr. Mike that I use his phrase because I like him so much. The hot one. Yeah. Bye, guys.